Power Rangers has been on the air for 30 years. That is quite an accomplishment, and such a milestone deserves to be celebrated. However, when it comes to their anniversary specials, they're usually a disappointment. In fact, I think the only one that was actually pretty good was the 10th anniversary special Forever Red, which featured 10 Red Rangers working together to fight Beetleborgs on the moon, and even that wasn't perfect. So when it came to their 30th anniversary special, Once and Always, they decided to do something they haven't done before. Instead of having the current team meet up with past Rangers, they decided to have a 1-hour special focusing on the original Mighty Morphin team. It's a really great concept, but does the execution live up to the concept? Well, let's find out. The special opens with the return of the very first Power Rangers villain, Rita Repulsa, this time in a new robot body. As the Rangers fight valiantly against her forces, Rita shows just how powerful she is by delivering a killing blow against Billy, the Blue Ranger, only for Trini, the Yellow Ranger, to sacrifice herself to save him. Yeah, more on that in a bit, but her death has caused quite a shock amongst the team, including Trini's daughter Min, who had to find out about her death at the same time she found out her mother was a Ranger. We cut to a year later, where Zack, the Black Ranger, has set aside his congressman duties in order to take care of Min. As they arrive to the funeral, they find out it's been crashed by Robo-Rita and 2 cyborg versions of past monsters. During the fight, Jason, Kimberly, and Tommy get kidnapped, because their actors weren't available for filming, while the rest are able to escape. Billy and Zack meet up with Alpha in a newly rebuilt power chamber to figure out their next move. As Rita releases her foot soldiers throughout the entire world, the Rangers decide to call up some reinforcements, bringing in Rocky and Kat as replacement Red and Pink Rangers. Meanwhile, Min, seeing this as a golden opportunity to take out Rita herself, steals her mother's morpher. So yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room. In 2001, Trini's actress Thuy Trang tragically passed away in a car accident. So seeing her character murdered by the main villain may seem in bad taste, not helped by the sudden death of Tommy's actor Jason David Frank, though to be fair, he passed away after filming of that special was completed. But putting that aside, this is actually not a bad idea. Now, this wasn't the first time a Power Ranger was killed, but this is the first time a Power Ranger was killed and stayed dead. And we actually see how her death affects everyone. Now, did they have to kill off a character whose actor is actually dead? Probably not, but I can understand the logic behind this. And that leads me to what I believe is the main theme of this special: grief. Thuy Trang's sudden death came as a shock to everyone, including her former castmates. So who else can demonstrate just how devastating the loss of a friend can be than the ones that actually went through it? It's honestly kind of poetic. And that brings me to Trini's daughter Min, who adds a lot of interesting layers to this concept, showing us that Trini also had a life outside of being a Ranger. But not only that, it gives an interesting opportunity for a character arc. See, one major plot point is that she can't get her morpher to work. And if you think about it, it actually makes sense, because she doesn't see this as an opportunity to be a hero, but for revenge. It's kind of reminds me of the 2017 film, where the powers don't work unless you are a good person, and know what it truly means to be a Power Ranger. Well, that's all I have to say about that, so let's move on to other aspects of the special. Since this is an original story, they can't rely on Sentai footage for their action scenes. And I'm fine with that. In fact, there are plenty of examples of original fights. However, I have mixed feelings about the action scenes in this special. They use a pretty unique style of cinematography, relying on close-ups during the action scenes, and it is pretty effective, making the viewer feel like they're part of the action. But that being said, the action itself feels kind of stiff. Not every action scene, but a good majority of it, especially during the morphed fights. And I know the Rangers are not as young as they used to be, but the fight scenes in the suits are performed by stunt actors. Now, it is possible that was the idea, though I feel like it's probably due to low budget. I will say that there are some action scenes that do look pretty good, especially the unmorphed fights. I want to get back to the budgetary concerns a bit later, but for now, let's talk about something positive. One thing I love about this special is that it's filled with Easter eggs and references to past seasons. These include characters, places, inside jokes, and many more. For example, there's a scene where Alpha sends a message to every single Power Ranger team across the world, warning them about Rita Repulsa. And while it is a shame we don't see any of those teams in action, it is good to know that they're still around. And unlike Power Rangers Megaforce, where it seems like they barely understand their own lore, here the continuity drops actually make sense, because the special builds off of the show's past events. That being said, there might be a few continuity errors that fell through the cracks. One specific example is when the Rangers are speaking with Adam and Aisha, the second Yellow and Black Power Ranger. And first, let me just say that it is kind of disappointing that they don't play a bigger role in the story, but it is still good to see them. My main question is, why is Aisha here when she's supposed to be trapped in the past at the end of the Alien Ranger saga? Now, to be fair, it has been a long time since we've seen most of these characters, and a lot of stuff can happen, so we can always assume that something might have happened to these characters off screen. It's honestly not that big of a deal compared to continuity issues in other seasons. There is one more critique I would like to talk about, but it is a bit of a spoiler, so just in case, I'm going to leave a timer at the bottom of the video. Now, most Power Ranger episodes end with a monster they're fighting growing giant size, forcing the Rangers to fight it in a giant robot called a Megazord. And this special is no exception. The monster grows giant size and the Power Rangers summon the Megazord. In fact, it's the same Megazord from the first season. However, it's not a guy in the suit like in the TV show, it's CGI, and it's not even good CGI. In fact, it kind of reminds me of the Zord fight in the '93 film. Now, it is possible they did this on purpose to pay homage to the film, but I feel like this is another example of budgetary concerns. But that being said, I've seen pictures of cosplayers who made pretty detailed costumes of the Megazord, and the fight takes place in a pretty open area, so I don't think it would have been that expensive, although I could be wrong about that. The fight itself is fine, albeit a bit floaty at times, but it is disappointing that we don't see a full costume like in the TV show. In the end, Power Rangers Once and Always is a great anniversary special, even if it's not perfect. While the action scenes are flawed and it has plenty of missed opportunities, seriously, why would you even have the viewing globe if you're not even going to use it? It makes up for it with a good story and some great callbacks from the original series, which puts it leagues above most anniversary specials. It's great catching up with these characters again after all these years, and most of them don't feel wasted, with plenty of moments of character development for them. However, the special does leave me with one question: what now? Because while the special does work as a standalone, it also kind of feels like a pilot. But aside from Billy coming back for Cosmic Fury, nothing has really been confirmed yet. I would like to see what else Power Rangers can do with these characters, especially Min. I feel like there's enough room for her to grow even more. Or maybe they can make specials that reunite other teams, like the ones from In Space. Now that the distribution rights have moved to Netflix, the future of the franchise is up in the air. So for now, we're just going to have to wait. In the meantime, we still have Cosmic Fury to look forward to. I'm the Red Shirt Reviewer. Thanks for watching.